How to classify triangles based on their sides and angles. Triangles have a first and a last name, kind of like us. So when we classify a triangle, we want to call them by their first name, which is their angle, and their last name, which describes their sides. So let's take a look at the first name. If all three angles are acute, which means they're less than 90 degrees, then the first name of the triangle is acute. If the triangle has one right angle, then it is a right triangle. If the triangle has one obtuse angle, then it is an obtuse triangle. Let's look at the last names. The last name is talking about the lengths of the sides. So for example, if all three sides are equal, they're the same length, it is an equilateral. If two sides are equal, it's called an isosceles triangle. And if no sides are equal, it's called a scalene triangle. So let's try this. Let's take a look at the first triangle here. I want to call it by its first name, its angle, and its last name. All of these angles look to be less than 90 degrees. So would that be acute, right, or obtuse? Very good, it'd be an acute triangle. But what is its last name? I can look at these tick marks, and these tick marks are all the same, which means they're all equal. So when talking about this first triangle, we would say it is an acute equilateral triangle. Let's look at the blue one. I see angles. I don't see a right angle. I do not see an obtuse angle, and they all look to be acute. So it is an acute triangle. Its last name, well, let's look at those tick marks. I see one side that has one and two that have two. That's telling me that this side and this side are the same length. So this is an isosceles triangle because it has two sides that are the same length. So when discussing this triangle, we would say an acute isosceles triangle. Let's look at the next one. All right, this green one has, I see an obtuse angle. So it is an obtuse triangle. I also noticed that one side has one tick mark, another has two, and another has three. That's telling me that all the sides are different. So is that equilateral, isosceles, or scalene? That's right, it's scalene. So when discussing this triangle, we would say it's an obtuse scalene triangle. Let's do the last one. All right, so I see this square here, this box, that's telling me that it's a right angle. So right away, I know that this first name of this triangle is right because it has one right angle. Now let's look at the sides. I see one tick mark, and then I see two on these. That's telling me these two are the same length. So this is a right isosceles triangle. Now you can classify triangles based on their sides and angles. Very good job.